Hey guys, we've got another video where I'm going to be cheek swatching a whole bunch of stuff. I just got in my order of the Westman Atelier powder duos. I got all 6 combos. So there are 3 powder duos that are actually, let me get the name right, Baby Cheeks and Face Trace Sculpting Powder Duo. And then there are 3 shades of the Baby Cheeks Powder Blush Duo. So let's take a close look at the packaging here. This is what we are looking at. They all look the same. They have this beautiful dusty baby pink color, a little bit bigger than like a credit card, I would say. And then inside we have a mirror, and then we have the 2 products. So why don't I show you close-ups of all of these palettes. I'll start with the sculpting powder duos, and then we'll move into the blush powder duos. So first we have Petal and Biscuit. Petal is a soft dusty rose blush, and it's paired with the iconic Biscuit Contour shade. I think these are the 2 most popular shades in the Westman Atelier blush stick line and contour stick line. Tulle and Truffle. Tulle is a delicate cool pink blush, and Truffle is a deep mocha brown sculpting shade. And here is Poppet and Ganache. Poppet is a vibrant fuchsia pink, and Ganache is a rich espresso brown. And here is a powder blush duo. This is Suede Sable. So Suede is a warm beige pink, and Sable is a soft warm brown. Next we have Coquette and Mimi. Coquette is a bright peachy pink, and Mimi is a mauve brown sculpting shade. And then finally we have Fizz and Jam. Fizz is a watermelon pink, and Jam is a deep berry. So I was checking out the Westman Atelier site, and it looks like these are meant to be very silky powder blush. They are meant to be not too matte, not too luminous. They're supposed to, work for all skin types, work for all skin tones. So we are going to try them all out. I'm very, very excited. Now with the launch of these, Gucci Westman also launched a new brush. I did not get the new brush. I have, as you guys know, a lot of brushes. So I do have her Powder 1 brush. The new brush that she launched is Powder 2, and it's a little bit rounder. She calls it a bunny tail brush. It looks like a kind of short candle flame shape. I'm trying to see if I have a brush like that. Maybe a little bit smaller than this Wang F3 brush. So maybe I'll leave this out and use it as well. But I'm gonna start with her Powder 1 brush, which is more of like a flat paddle brush. Let's start with Petal and Biscuit, because that's the one I'm most anxious about. That is this guy here. So I'm gonna start actually with Biscuit. And just, oh, okay. I am surprised at the level of pigmentation. I'm always assuming, which I shouldn't do, but I'm always assuming because Westman Atelier's style, her entire makeup line is about, just kind of like an everyday kind of glam and ease of use. And not that her products aren't ease of use, but I'm always assuming that they're gonna be, very light and have a very kind of like light touch and a soft touch. But her products actually have quite a bit of pigmentation, at least the ones as of late, like this one and her concealer. That's the first time it really, really surprised me. I was like, whoa, these concealers, the Vital Skin Concealer, those are like really, really high coverage, like very, very highly pigmented, which I was not expecting. I thought they were gonna be like a real natural kind of concealer. Absolutely not. And it's like I have to remind myself that she's a makeup artist. Anyway, my point is I made the assumption that these were going to be really light and, have a soft touch. That's not the case so far. As you guys can see, this Biscuit shade is quite pigmented. So I would go in lightly. It does blend out very nicely. And just so you know, I will put this down below in the description box, but I do have the Dior foundation stick on. It's just easy to reapply when I'm like taking on and off makeup. So I always go for the foundation stick. And then I do have the Westman Atelier powder, the Vital Press Skincare Powder in creme down over that. So that's what I'm applying these products over. Okay, so that is Biscuit. Very pigmented, but I don't think you have to be too careful because it blends out very, very nicely. Very easy to use. Amazing. Really, really beautiful texture. I would have to agree with what she says on her site, if you guys want to take a look. It's the texture of these powders. They're very, very silky. I definitely felt that when I did a finger swatch. So I was expecting them to blend out, and they have not disappointed. Okay, let me go into the blush now, Petal. And this looks like, oh, such a beautiful nude pink. Gorgeous. Now, I already filmed my Sephora recommendations video, so these are not included in that video. And I'll let you know at the end of this video, after I've tried them all, whether or not I would recommend picking this up during the sale. Because if you want them, I would pick them up quickly, because her products, when they're popular, they tend to sell out very quickly, like her Sun Tone bronzing drops. Shades 1 and 2 are already sold out. I'm hoping they restock for the sale. But yeah, if you want them, definitely go for it. But I'll let you know. I'll let you know once we're done. Yeah, these are very blurring. Very, very blurring. So pretty. Okay, so this is Petal and Biscuit. Nice. I really thought after trying so many blushes over the past like month, I feel like it's been nonstop. I thought, oh my God, is this really gonna impress me? What's gonna impress me at this point? But this is really, it's really beautiful. It's a little bit blurring. And like she describes, they're not like fully matte, but they're not luminous. They're just this like really kind of like soft effect on the cheeks. Quite pretty, quite pretty. Okay, let me take this off and we'll go to the next one. Okay, I think we're all set down. So next, let's try Tulle and Truffle. I really like this combo. I'm so interested to see if this truffle shade is going to be too deep for me. So I've got the Wang, the F3 brush. I'm going to pick up just a little bit of this truffle shade. Yeah, just a hint. Yeah, see, very, very pigmented. Let's see how it blends out. Oh, like a dream, really beautifully. Yeah, quite nice. Now, I don't necessarily think all of these duos are meant for my skin tone. I'm just trying them all out in case you have a similar skin tone to mine and you are interested in like the color combo, how it would appear on your skin, on your face. But yeah, I don't, I can't imagine that Gucci Westman designed all of these to work on a very light skin tone. I'm sure it's for an array. So I am aware of that. I am aware of that. Okay, so there is Truffle. And I want to say, I think this one is a little bit warmer than the Biscuit. Biscuit is just a touch cooler, and you probably saw it in the swatches at the end there, but here's Biscuit and here's Truffle. So Truffle is deeper and it's a little bit warmer. And that's kind of nice. I feel like whenever, a brand comes out with bronzers, I find that the lightest bronzer has a little bit of warmth, and then the second bronzer is a little bit deeper and a little bit cooler. And I always have a hard time deciding which one, because I like cooler toned, but I'm also very pale. So anyway, just thoughts I'm having. Okay, let me go into Tulle. Such a pretty pink. There is Tulle. Such an interesting combo, I have to say, because this is so cool toned. And like I said, this one's a little bit warmer, but on the cheeks, they blend out. Like they blend together really, really beautifully. Okay, so there is Tulle and Truffle. I like this combo too. Yeah, I like this combo too. If you're gonna go for it and you're as pale as I am, just be careful with that Truffle. It is pigmented. Before I remove this, I'm just like checking myself out in the mirror here. These are probably the most blurring and diffused blushes I think I've tried in a long time. At least from what I can recollect. These are gorgeous. They look positively ethereal. Okay, and now for Pop It and Ganache. I love the Pop It shade in the blush stick, so I'm really, really excited for this. And oh my gosh, is that not just such a good color? And the name, Pop It, it's so perfect. Okay, I need to find a really wispy brush for this because I do want a very light application. Okay, I'm gonna use the Sonia G Soft Cheek brush. And, oh, actually, I'm gonna go into the contour powder first. I got too excited by Pop It. So the contour is Ganache. Let me go in with that one first. I'm gonna go back to the Wang F3 brush and pick up just the littlest bit. I don't even know if I'll be able to apply this shade light enough, but this sculpting shade is cooler in tone, cooler than Truffle that was in the previous duo. Okay, so there is Ganache, very dramatic, very, very dramatic. Okay, now soft cheek brush with Pop It. I find this one just a little bit more difficult to blend out than the others, but once I get it blended out, it has the same sort of blurred effect. It could be this brush too, because it is so soft, it's not really like blending. So let me find a different brush and test. Yeah, I'm gonna try my Refer number 4 brush. It is angled, but it's a little bit denser. So if I need to move product, this is a better bet than like a soft cheek brush. But I may end up with too strong of an application. So we'll see, we'll see. Yes, this brush is much, much better. Yeah, that applied very nicely. And if you guys caught my video yesterday, my blush showdown, I talk about how these like cooler, bright pink tones always make me think that after I put them on, I should put on like a powdered wig and draw a mole on my chin or something. They have that kind of like Marie Antoinette look to them. That is very pretty. Very, very pretty. Wow, this would look so great with like a matching lip. Gorgeous. Okay, so that is Pop It and Ganache. All right, now we are moving over into the powder blush duos. However, the first two that I showed you, they have like sculpting powders in there. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure if they're meant to be like two blushes, whatever. They're both going on the cheek, right? I don't know. I don't know why there was like differentiation between like blush duos and sculpting powder duos. Anyway, I'm just gonna use them the way I would just looking at these. So I'm gonna put the deeper shade on first, and this one is Mimi. This one is Coquette and this one is Mimi. I'm gonna use my BK Beauty 103 brush, go into Mimi. And because these aren't like her contouring powders, maybe these are more of like a bronzer versus a contour, I'm kind of applying these a little bit more generously on my cheek and around my hairline. Yeah, and this definitely seems to have a little bit of a lighter touch in terms of pigmentation. So this acts a little bit more like a blush versus a contour. Interesting. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take the same brush. I'm going to go into Coquette, which is this light peach. And I'm going to brush this just where I want a little bit of brightness. Ooh, I love this duo. I love this duo. This duo just, wow. I hope you guys can see it, but I feel like it just wakes me up. It just wakes up my entire complexion, makes me look more alive, it makes me look healthier, I think it makes me look more youthful, I look approachable. Makes me look like all the things I'm not. No, I love it. I love it. There's like a brightness there without it being like too literal, like that Pop It shade, which is obviously very, very bright. This has like a light kind of like emanating through. Ooh, I love this. So that's the Coquette and Mimi. And this, interestingly enough, I feel like looks a little bit peachier on my skin than it does in the pan. Maybe because it's sitting next to one that is so peach. Yeah, I think by itself you can maybe see it a little bit better. Yeah, okay. Okay, now I can see why they call it a blush duo. Oh, I kind of don't want to take this off. but I will because we have the one that I was actually most excited for. This is Suede Sable. We have this one up next. So let me remove this and I'll be right back. Okay, now let's try Suede and Sable. Again, this is a powder blush duo. I'm gonna go in with Suede first because that's the deeper shade. I feel like laying that down first makes sense. I think that's also something Gucci Westman said, that to lay the deeper shade down first and then take the lighter shade and use it to kind of like brighten things up, which makes sense to me. So I'm gonna follow her instruction. And what brush should I use? I'm gonna use this Rephr, excuse me, I'm gonna use this Rephr number 5 brush and go into Suede. I'm using this shade kind of as a bronzer shade. It definitely is a little bit on the rosier side, but I think it works. I think it works. Okay, that's Suede by itself. I'm gonna go into Sable and just put that on my cheeks here, like right on the apples of my cheeks. This is, I think I picked up a little bit too much product, so I'm just gonna blend that out. Wow, this is kind of like bronzy goddess kind of. I mean, there's a little bit of rosiness, but it's very nude. I like this one a lot. Oh my God, I'm sitting here like trying to figure out which one is my favorite. I am really liking all of these for different reasons. This is really, really nice. I can definitely see myself using this a lot in the summertime when I start to get, well, hopefully when I start to get a little bit of a bronze to my skin. One can hope. One can hope. All right, so that is Suede and Sable. I cannot get over how like blurred everything looks. God, it's gorgeous. Okay, let me take this off. Okay, and now for the last one. This is Fizz and Jam. So I think this one is the one that looks like most obviously a blush duo. So I'm gonna go in with Jam first. I'm gonna use a really fluffy brush because I just want like a light layer of this. I'm not gonna use this shade to like bronzer, contour, or sculpt or anything like I did with the other two because this is obviously a blush. So I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna use this brush, the BK Beauty 104 brush. And I'm gonna go in really lightly into Jam because this is, I think, a duo that is not meant for my skin tone. I think this is perfect for a deeper skin tone, but I think it's gonna be a little bit deep for me, but let's see. Okay, I mean, not too deep at all. It's actually a nice wash. If you have a light skin tone like I do and you're very tempted by this duo, just put it on with a fluffy brush. You'll get a nice soft application. Okay, not bad. There was a really high Bozo the Clown possibility with this on my complexion, but I think it looks okay. I think it looks okay. I think you can put it on in a really light way, a light wash. Beautiful. Okay. I guess I'll just take the same brush. I'll go into Fizz and I'm just gonna pop that, you know, on the apples of my cheeks and maybe just, you know, kind of sculpt right up here a little bit. I don't even know if I'll be able to do that with this brush, but that'll be my attempt. So apples of the cheeks and just right at the top here, kind of blend it in that way. That's a lot of heat, a lot of heat. I feel like this needs a bold lip with it, but I just have some of the Westman Atelier lip gloss on, but that's okay. I think you can pull this off. Like a bold eye and then maybe like a bright lip. I think that could definitely work. What do you guys think? It's definitely a bold blush for my complexion. On like a medium to medium deep, like olive toned complexion, oh my God, this duo would look incredible. Incredible. Okay, so that's Fizz and Jam. That's the last one out of all 6 of the new powder duos. So I do have some strong opinions about these, and you may be surprised because this is the first time I'm trying these out. But these are incredible. These are incredible. These I like more than any of the other blushes that I tried yesterday. The Charlotte Tilbury, the Tower 28, the Say, the Rare Beauty, what's the other one? The YSL. This one, I think, blows all of those out of the water. The one that I like the most, which I think I mentioned in yesterday's video, is the Say blush, because that has a radiance to it. It has like a sheen to it. It has a little bit of shimmer in the actual powder. This blush gives you such a glow and a luminosity without actual stuff in the powder. You know what I mean? Without actual metallic bits in the powder. This is just, there's something about the actual powder, maybe the fact that it's so finely milled, it's so silky soft. There's just this beautiful like light from within radiance that these blushes give. They're so diffused. They're so blurring. And I think that's what it is. Like my cheeks just look like ethereal. They look otherworldly. And it's these blushes. I think I have two favorites, which surprises me. I thought Petal and Biscuit, that's gonna be the one that I go to. That's gonna be my absolute favorite. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great. It didn't like do anything for me. I thought it was very everyday, like very everyday. And I've said this about quiet luxury fashion. There's like this really fine line between like quiet luxury and boring. And I think Petal and Biscuit is kind of like tap dancing into like that boring territory. Not to say it isn't beautiful, not to say I'm not gonna use it, because this is just a great, just reach for it. This is probably something I'd pack with me if I'm not sure like what eyeshadows I'm bringing or whatever, or plan on wearing, like that is gonna go with everything. But the two that really knocked my socks off, of course I can't find them right now. The first one is Suede and Sable, these two. And I was most excited to try this one when I ordered these because both of these shades just look like beautiful neutrals. But I was like, do I need both in one palette? They seem kind of close, but I loved this on. This I think was the most surprising on. I actually didn't think that this was gonna be quite as rosy as it was, but man, oh man, I thought this was really beautiful on. It just brought like a life to my complexion. And then the other one that I just, wow, I just feel like it just made my cheeks look ethereal is the Mimi and Coquette one. This one, I don't know, Coquette and Mimi, I should say. Coquette, Mimi. Yeah, just angelic. There was something really angelic about this duo. So those two are my picks, but I love this formula. If you like any of the duo shades, I think you'll love it. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And don't forget that Sephora VIB sale is coming up. It starts tomorrow, 9 p.m. for those of us in Pacific West Coast time zone, and you can get 20% off of these guys. So anyway, I definitely recommend these. And if I had made that Sephora video before I tried these out, these definitely would have appeared in my recommendations video. But anyway, I already filmed that video. That's going up tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe down below if you want to see that. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.